Four, three, two, one. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Your boy, the Dread Man, is back with the final episode of the 2023 NFL Fourth and Goal podcast. I'm here with my guys, Flip Side and Waz the guys who started it all with me. Flip, Waz, what's up, gentlemen?
Not much, my guy. Just enjoying the off-season shenanigans. Well, pre-off-season shenanigans.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the Pro Bowl games?
I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I saw some highlights from it, a couple of little key plays, but it's the Pro Bowl. You ain't missing anything.
It was pretty solid. It's not going to be anything like the old Pro Bowl, of course, but
Of course not.
they're doing their best. I liked it,
Yeah, for sure.
but yeah, it's been it's pretty chill.
Yeah.
Nice little close to the season. I'm glad at least one of our teams made it to the Super Bowl.
Oh, for sure.
That's all we can ever wish for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been chilling.
Yeah. Was you above everybody else? I know you're excited for this Super Bowl, man. But how do you feel about your boys this season?
It was a hell of a season. Honestly, obviously, this is the pinnacle of it. Not much could have gone much better for this season. How it went, how it played out. Purdy had one hell of a year, and then obviously in the playoffs, he's come through, and he's had two comebacks back to back. Whereas the team and people and haters and doubters obviously said that he had been yet to prove that he could lead a team from behind.
Right.
And he did it on the biggest stages so far. So it remains to be seen. Win or lose, I think this is still going to be obviously still a positive thing. But I think obviously I am like hell for him to win this game, and for Purdy to put a cap on probably one of the best stories in sports.
Oh yeah, because there's been a ton of narratives going into this Super Bowl, because it's being said that the Kansas City Chiefs are nothing more than the New England Patriots of this decade. Do you guys agree or disagree?
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense, yeah. I don't know if they'll continue the success that the Patriots had. We'll see this Super Bowl. This is going to be the Super Bowl where we see if Mahomes gets to LeBron or the Jordan treatment, basically. I'm hoping that the 49ers pull this off, but I mean, you never know. You never know with the Chiefs. That's all I can say.
I mean, like say LeBron Jordan treatment. I mean, LeBron Jordan. Are you talking about like calls, or what are you talking about?
I'm talking about like the narrative that's pushed, like like LeBron has lost so many times in the finals that they're just starting this whole like, LeBron couldn't get it done in the finals. He's been there a bunch of times, but couldn't get it done. Meanwhile, Jordan 6-0. That's what they push, 6-0 Jordan.
Of course. Yeah.
Now, Mahomes has already lost once, but I mean, in the NFL, it's a little different. I feel like as long as he's able to keep a consistent stream of Super Bowl victories, I think he gets that.
Flip cut off for me.
Flip cut off? Yeah, flip cut off for me too. He'll pop back up.
All right, go ahead, Flip. Sorry,
yeah, go ahead.
You cut off.
Okay.
You cut off for a minute.
Oh wait, where did I get cut off?
You were about to. We talked about. You were getting into the. Just rewind back like 30 seconds. You didn't.
Okay. It's just you have to win it in the big game. And LeBron, we already know he's lost a ton in the big game, and he gets criticized for it. So we could see the same thing happen. What, 2-2?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So he's going to be 2-2 in the Super Bowl. So I mean, who knows how they one if he can't get it done? They're going to start saying like, "Oh, is Mahomes not able to get it done in the Super Bowl? Is it his kryptonite? All these teams, is the dynasty finally over? Is his team good enough to get him back?" It's going to start a bunch of narratives. So
but see, here's the thing. But another narrative about Patrick Mahomes is people were questioning whether he should be the starting quarterback. Like people were saying, "Oh man, it's a bad move." I kept the receipts because people was like, "Well, he might end up being a bust," and then he ended up being the pick of the damn decade. So he proved them wrong, and he also proved that he's not just a system quarterback. He proved that he is a big time player. And as far as Brock Purdy, I was going to get into this a little bit earlier. I mean, get into this a little bit later. But there's a narrative, there's a Brock Purdy narrative that says that Brock Purdy is average or he's a mid QB, and the only reason why he looks as good as he does is because he pretty much has the damn Justice League of America as a supporting cast.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a little different for him than Mahomes. Mahomes is supposed to be the next greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Like we had Aaron Rodgers hyped up to be the greatest quarterback of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, he got the one Super Bowl in, 2009 and hasn't even sniffed another Super Bowl since. So for Mahomes to be on his, fourth or fifth trip to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Fourth, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different. I think the pressure is...
With only 5 years in the league, though? This is fifth. Yeah, but this is his 5th year in the league. He got drafted in 2018. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, the pressure is for him to be the next GOAT,
Yeah.
So, he's got to keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got to keep it consistent. So, if he can't get it done with this Super Bowl, this might start the downhill trend because their team it's not the greatest. Travis Kelce is getting old.
Mm-hmm.
Once he loses Kelce, I mean, the Chiefs are going to have to do a little rebuild.
But flip side, it's going to be a little bit of a downhill, at least offensively. Like, it's obviously the best defense that Mahomes ever had going into the postseason and going into a Super Bowl. But I mean, this is the worst. This is like the weakest offense he's had. He's got the worst version of Kelce that he's had, just based on age. Receivers are just not there. Like it was in the past, where he, at least like previously he had. Granted, they won the Super Bowl last year without Tyreek, but just the level of, but still Juju. I mean, Juju was great for them in the postseason last year, if I recall right. So I mean, I don't. Tony and
Rasheed Rice is coming up.
Yeah,
that's true.
And it's just not. I don't know. I don't necessarily. I don't trust them as much. Granted, they've had some success these last 2 weeks, but it's the weakest his team's been offensively from an offensive standpoint. And then obviously, if they, even win or lose, I don't. I mean, Reed's obviously you can say he's the best coach right now, but win or lose, it's going to be interesting to see how they try to retool, because I don't know how much longer Kelce's going to be able to produce. And once Kelce's gone, this has been like the 1-2 combo receiver and quarterback combo in the postseason with the amount of touchdowns and receptions they've produced together. I mean, but Mahomes is so freaking good. It's they're gonna obviously be a prohibitive favorite to win the AFC, for the next 1 or 2 years at least, unless something else shakes up in the AFC.
Sure.
But yeah, it's dynasty wise and where they're at. I think even if they lose, I think Mahomes is still in a decent spot to try to make it competitive. I don't think anyone thinks he's going to probably beat Brady in terms of number of rings, but I don't think he has to. I don't think he has to get more than 7 to be in that conversation.
For sure.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, for sure. Because Peyton Manning is still listed as top 5 quarterbacks of all time, which I believe skill wise he deserves it. But anyway, guys, without further ado, Super Bowl 58. We got the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, we've mentioned the narrative, we mentioned the rosters, but now let's break this down brick by brick. Offense. Who has the better offense on paper? Waz, you first.
Oh, San Francisco by far. If it just top to bottom, yeah. I mean, you can even with that quarterback, obviously you can have Mahomes several notches above Purdy, but still just at every other position, with the exception of even tight end now, maybe do a push. I think tight ends maybe a push, maybe a slight edge to Kelce, but other than that, man, it's San Francisco, I believe.
Yes. When it comes to the receiving core, when it comes to running back, and when it comes to let's see, receiving quarterback, running back, receiving core, O line. Let's see. I'm gonna break this down. Quarterback, I'd have to give it to Kansas City. Receiving core, I'd have to give it to San Francisco. Running back, oh boy. Don't get mad at me for this, but I have to give it to San Francisco. O line, maybe San Francisco again. Tight end. Wow. Kelsey or Kittle. Maybe a slight edge to Kelsey if he's healthy. But yeah, in those five categories, I got San Francisco winning 3-5. But yeah, flip offense when it comes to quarterback, receiving core, running back, tight end, and O line. Who do you have winning on all five of those? Who do you get the edge all five of those categories?
I'll start with quarterback. I'll give it to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Running back, I'm giving it to McCaffrey, but Pacheco, his postseason play has been just as good as McCaffrey's, if we're being honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go with the tie there. I'll say it's a push on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Receiver, I'm definitely giving it to San Francisco. Barring tight end, I give it to Kansas City, but I think it's just the scheme. Kittle is more of a blocking guy.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to see the Kittle of old, who was more like a big play receiver guy.
Yeah, a tank, basically. Yeah,
I think they like him in the blocking game. They like what he can do. He can go out there and make a big play like Kelsey. So I kind of want to give that one a push too on tight end. But receivers, it goes to San Fran. O-line, I kind of want to give that one a push too, because both of them protect their quarterbacks pretty damn well.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's a little bit dead even here, except for quarterback and receivers.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Now, Waz, what about you? Who do you give the edge to in those five categories? Quarterback, running back, receiving core, tight end, and O line.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much on par with you, Dreadman.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give the nod obviously to Mahomes at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more solid on McCaffrey and Shanahan's system with in the running game. To say Sanfran has the edge running, Sanfran clearly has the edge at receiving core. Tight end is probably the closest where it's a push. I think you go a couple years back, you could say Kelsey for sure. I think even though Kittle has had obviously injuries in the past, he's not exactly a spring chicken. I think the gap has closed a little bit, but I'll give the edge to Kelsey just because of the history and what he's been able to do successfully in the postseason.
Yeah.
And then O-line's close, but I'm going to give the edge to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, Kansas City's O-line with how they were in 2019 and how they were able to hold Bosa without getting calls. I mean, hell, maybe I'll give them the edge in that case, depending on how the refs want to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say San Francisco.
All righty. Now let's break it down on the defensive side of the ball. We're breaking down D-line, linebackers, and secondary. Now, I will have to give it to Kansas. I will have to give it to Kansas City's D-line. The linebackers, oh my God, that's the hardest choice to make so far. I will give an edge to the 49ers linebacker core, and the secondary, maybe I have to give that to the Chiefs. So for my defense, I'm giving the I got it 2-1 for the defensive side of the ball. I got the Chiefs for my D-line, I got the Niners for my linebackers, and for the secondary, I got the Chiefs again. Flip, what about you? D line, linebackers, and secondary. Who you got? And who edges those in their departments?
Um, off the bat, D line should go to D line should go to the 49ers here, but for some reason, they just have not been living up to their
I
expectations,
agree.
and
Yeah.
it's just like uh, the Chiefs secondary. As I think it's less Chiefs or not secondary, their D line. I think it's less D line and it's more
Mhm.
what's their DC's name? Uh, I forget his name.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve
Spagnola. There
Spagnuolo.
we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more Spagnola than D line, so I'm going to give it to the 49ers D line.
Hmm.
But Spagnola be having those guys just, I don't know, they get pressure every time. When they need to get pressure, they get pressure. He's always got a package ready for third down. So I'm going to give it to the 49ers D line off of potential,
Hmm.
but still think that one's a little bit close. Um, Linebackers, definitely 49ers for me. Secondary, I think that one's close too, just because the Niners are kind of missing guys like Hafanga.
Oh yeah.
Um, but um, yeah, I think I'll go with that. I think secondary is close. Linebackers not close. I
Yeah.
give it to the Niners.
Yeah.
D line shouldn't be close, but it's close.
Yeah.
But that's probably because of Spagnola.
Right. Oh yeah. And okay. Now, Wise, what about you? In the defensive department, who gets the edge in those three categories? D line, linebackers, and secondary.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the edge to the D line to San Francisco, but like what Flip was kind of saying,
Hmm.
they haven't been performing up to their level of how they would look like on paper.
Hmm.
Bosa finally had a pretty solid game last week. Got 2 sacks. Um, and they're getting some actual production out of Kinlaw
Hmm.
in the interior. He's been kind of a buzz for them for years, but he's actually been at least getting pressure and causing the pocket to collapse and making some plays happen.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna need to see something out of Chase Young, man. Chase Young just does not seem like he's playing for. He's not playing motivated. It's just he's not saying like he's trying to play for a decent sized contract the following year. So I need to see something out of him. But I'm still, even with how impressive Kansas City defensively has been, I'm still going to give the edge. D line to San Francisco. Linebackers, I think it's clear cut San Francisco
Hmm.
with Warner and Greenlaw. Secondary, I'll give the edge to Kansas City. Our secondary has never been solid. Our secondary historically has been pretty trash. And we do have some gaping holes with Ambry Thomas. He's a walking PI. I feel like, and I'm kind of concerned that
Hmm.
Mahomes is gonna find Tony or Valdez Scantling behind him, and it's going to be a wrap. But again, hopefully Wilkes can patch up something on that secondary line. But I'll give the edge secondary wise to Kansas City for sure. But I still think that Niners linebackers D line. I think Niners have the edge.
All right. Coaching. Who do you guys give the edge to? Shanahan or damn it, I forgot his name that quick. But yeah, you guys know.
Reed.
Yeah,
Reed.
Andy Reid. Yeah, Shanahan or Andy Reid. Flip. What about you? Who you give the edge coach to? Kansas City or the 49ers?
Um, Shanahan, it should be close with Shanahan, but we've seen him blunder a lot. We've seen him blunder a lot, especially against the same team, the Chiefs. In the last Super Bowl, they played against each other. What was it? They were up 27 or 20 zip.
Yeah.
3 minutes left in.
They were up 10. They were up 10 in the fourth.
Okay. Yeah. No. I mean in the first half, because it was like 20 to. It was a pretty big lead going into halftime.
2019.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I forgot the lead.
But I remember this very distinctly. It was like 2 minutes left on the clock. and they decide to just kneel it out. That was like a big shock to me because I was thinking to myself, this Chiefs team is going to run the score up in the second half and get back into it. So you better
Oh
like
yeah,
get as
bro, I
many
did
points
see
as you
that.
can on the board. So
But for what
for
team?
Shanahan to even like think, oh, let me just kneel it out, let's not take any chances. It's a Super Bowl. You better take as many chances as you can with the ball in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him have a lot of questionable plays. A lot of the second half decisions are a little questionable. Meanwhile, Andy Reid, we've seen the same, but I don't think they were as big. I don't think I've ever seen the Chiefs team go into the second half and not be out of it. It's always been a game where they're in it to win it. They have a chance to win it. So head coaching, I got to give to the Chiefs. Um, Defensive coordinator,
Mm-hmm.
I might have to give to the Chiefs as well. Offensive coordinator, I mean, I feel like Shanahan calls the plays more for the Chiefs or the Niners than anybody. I don't. Waz would be able to tell me more about that one, but um, I'll just say this: defensively, I think the coaching is better for the Chiefs. Offensively, I think it's pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
I think Andy Reid is Reid is just a great coach. We can't deny that. Shanahan is a great coach, but I don't think he's as great as Reid yet.
Mm-hmm.
He's still young. He's still got many years to get there. So for now, I'll say I'll lead the coaching for the Chiefs side.
All right. Wise, who you think got the better coaching?
Yeah, I absolutely the Kansas City has the better coach. Reid is a better coach than Shanahan is. I mean, Reid has had issues in the past with time mismanagement and everything like that. But overall, like Reid is solid. Like he, especially with time to prepare. Like Reid after a bye or 2 weeks. 2 weeks preparation time. He has a pretty solid record. And like Flip said, Shanahan just has a lot of blunders. Shanahan gets way cute. He tries to throw. I mean, we saw what happened in 2016. He was offensive coordinator for the Falcons, and they just let that game get away from the Patriots. And they could have ran the ball, but they wanted to put the ball in Matt Ryan's hands and have him throw with the lead. And then also, yeah, he's in games where he's had Jimmy G and they try to put the ball in Jimmy G's hands. It's just again not a good look. And then even a couple of games so far this season, or even against like the Packers, it's just I feel like they don't run the ball enough. And this is I think going into this game, I think this is a game where they need to get. Again, they need to get McCaffrey a decent amount of carries, and my concern is that Shanahan wants to draw up a lot of plays to get Brock Purdy back there throwing, and I don't think that's a great idea. I think Shanahan has to try to handcuff himself and force himself to not try to do finesse, cute things and throw the ball. So
right.
I'm gonna give the edge. Because again, there's a history of him blowing leads because of that. So I'm giving the edge to Reid right now.
All right. Now, keys to victory. What does each team have to do to secure the W? Now, my keys to victory for the Kansas City Chiefs is they have to score and they have to score fast. Because I think it will favor them more if they're looking for more of a slugfest, if they're looking for more of a shootout kind of game, because that will put Brock Purdy under more pressure than it would Patrick Mahomes. Now, don't get me wrong, Brock Purdy does have the weapons to for a shootout, but the thing is he going to be prone to making that one crucial mistake? That's the problem. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, now, I think it's going to come down to who makes the most amount of mistake, as far as who makes the least missed assignments. I think, personally, that D-line is going to have to step up for Patrick Mahomes, because it wouldn't surprise me if they get 3 or more sacks on Patrick. So he's going to have to get rid of that ball quick, for sure. Now, the keys to victory for San Francisco, I think McCaffrey is going to have to be your MVP for this game, for sure. he's going to have the ball in his hands 50 to 60% of the time. That offense is going to have to run through him. And the reason why is because they're not going to be – that Kansas City defense isn't going to be expecting him to have the ball for 60% of the time. Run the ball with them, throw little slant passes, and hell, I'd say even, throw them out wide if you have to, because they're going to be looking for Brandon Ayuk. They're going to be looking for George Kittle. They're going to be looking for Deebo Samuel. They're not going to be expecting him to go deep. So, yeah. And as far as the defense, yes, blitz the living hell out of Patrick Mahomes. Make him uncomfortable. You've got to do that. Like I said, he's going to have to get rid of that ball quick, but you're going to have to force him to get rid of the ball quicker than he wants to. Wise, what are the keys to victory for each team? What do they each have to do to get the W?
I think for San Francisco to win, Purdy can't turn it over.
For sure.
He can't turn the ball over. McCaffrey, in an ideal world, McCaffrey has a pretty big game. Purdy doesn't have to have as big. It's not dependent on Purdy to throw for 300 or throw 3 TDs. We just need McCaffrey to get a solid, 5 to 6 yards a carry. That could be that's a recipe for success. Is just a solid run game. Right. Purdy, no mistakes. Purdy's had some near interceptions this postseason. If Purdy doesn't throw a pick, I do like their chances. And defensively, I think they have to make Mahomes uncomfortable. And again, we saw in 2019 this very similar defense did give Mahomes probably his worst game for 58 minutes of that game until probably the last 3 or so minutes, and then Mahomes lit him up.
Right.
If they can just make Mahomes uncomfortable, obviously they have to get pressure on him. They'll have success. Now for the Chiefs to win, I think realistically, I think they're going to want it to be a kind of a slugfest game. I don't think they're going to want to try to be in a shootout, so to speak. I think they're going to want to keep the ball and keep it in terms of like a game where they get maybe a 7-point lead or a 10-point lead. They don't need that much of a lead, and I think they'll try to inevitably wait for the Purdy and everyone to kind of get deer in the headlights kind of thing. I think that's kind of what happened with Lamar last week, or the weeks prior. I think that if they can get just at least a touchdown lead and make the Niners a little bit nervous, that can be all kind of neat, because again, we haven't seen Purdy in this kind of situation yet. In the grandest stage, I think Mahomes. I think Pacheco. I'm worried about Pacheco because our run defense has been pretty bad. I think Kansas City will have if they have a successful run game as well on their side. Right. I'm not even expecting Mahomes needing to have a big game as well for them to do well and possibly win. I think it's going to be which team's running game dominates more, and which quarterback can capitalize on certain parts. Pacheco and McKinnon, who's back now, I think if they can get solid production, 150 to 175, 100 on the ground, I think that's a recipe for Kansas City to win. And again, their defense, if they can get a 1 or 2 turnovers out of Purdy, I think it's going to be a ball game, and I think Kansas City will win.
All right, Flip, keys to victory for each team. What do they each have to do to win?
Keys to victory here. I'm going to start with the Chiefs. They got to get the run game going very quickly. If they don't have the run game going, I don't think that they even have a chance in this game. So Pacheco, I mean, we've seen what Pacheco's been doing to keep the Chiefs in this postseason, to be honest. I think if Pacheco doesn't run as hard as he has, we don't see Kelsey get wide open like we've seen, and we don't see a lot of teams having to stack the box and letting a guy like MVS catch the game-winning ball, So I think the keys to victory is pass or the run game has to be good. We need to see Kelsey make a couple big plays on critical third downs.
Right.
And basically, it's just Mahomes extending the play to let these guys get open in time. Don't turn over the ball. But for the Niners, I think it's less on the offensive side for the Niners for me and more on the defensive side. I don't think you can blitz Mahomes. I don't think you want to blitz Mahomes. You just need your guys like Bosa, Kinlaw, and Chase to actually get pressure. You're going to rush 4 all game because the second you blitz Mahomes, he's going to punish you. So you need your front 4 to do their job and get pressure on him. And obviously you need to stop the run, and the way to stop the run is for your front 4 to start getting pressure on Mahomes without y'all having to blitz. So I mean, it comes down to can this D line for the Niners actually show up and do their job? Because I have faith in the 49ers offense to do their job. I think McCaffrey is going to have a big game. I think Debo, even with his shoulder injury, is going to be effective either in the passing game or as a gadget runner. I think Ayuk is going to have that big play. I think the O-line is going to set the tone and get Purdy enough time to get to these guys. I think we're going to see a big play from Kittle, and the blocking is going to be there for McCaffrey to get those big runs and set up scoring opportunities for the 49ers. So I'm not worried about that side. It's more the defense. Can they do something to disrupt Mahomes? Because we haven't seen it basically all postseason. Right. No team has looked like they have pressured this guy. Maybe you could say the Ravens in the second half of the AFC Championship, but the first half, he seemed pretty damn comfortable. So, it's just going to come down to those 2 factors for me. So, I think those are my key factors.
All right. Now, without further ado, final score prediction. I'm going to go Kansas City 30, San Francisco 26. Flip, final score.
I'm going to go San Francisco 31, Kansas City 30.
All right. All right. Yeah. All right. Wise, final score prediction. Who you got?
Oh, man. I've gone back and forth with this. It's hard for me to pick against San Francisco. I'm trying to be objective in what I think will actually occur.
Yeah.
I just think there's a lot going on with I think Kansas City is going to be more liable to get the calls. It's going to be a more push.
Yeah.
There's going to be a more push for Kansas City to win. It's going to be better for the NFL, maybe in general. If they win and they got a guy that's got 3 rings that's going to be pursuing and chasing Brady in their own version of it. But who knows? Maybe Purdy is going to be Mahomes' Eli Manning. Maybe Purdy's going to be the one.
That's bold.
Who's the guy who steps in and just kind of hunky-dory gets it done and is a little foil in the plan for Mahomes for his legacy. So, I can't. I'm not gonna pick against San Fran. I gotta go San Francisco. San Francisco in this game. It's going to be close. It's going to be a little low scoring. I don't have it as high scoring as y'all do. I think right now the over/under is like 47.
Yeah.
Give me San Francisco to win this game, 24-20.
All right. Well, gentlemen, that'll do it for this week's episode, and it'll do it for the 4th and Goal podcast until September. Well, August, but yeah, you guys get it. Let's enjoy this Super Bowl. Let's have a great game. I might do some live commentary as well. I might go live and stream the game, or at least, without the copyright thing. But yeah, Flip, Wise, as always, you guys have been great. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys soon. Y'all have a good night. Peace out.
Thank you for having us, man.
Peace out. Thanks for having us for another season.
Yes.
Good luck in y'all's draft. Good luck in the Super